just got to the scene here in this neighborhood near 91st Avenue and Maryland in Glendale, and you can see behind me, this is a very active scene. We've counted at least a dozen squad cars here on scene. We're behind the police tape, obviously. They want to keep us a safe distance from whatever happened here overnight. Right now, we're getting very limited details from Glendale police. Here's what I can tell you so far. Officers say they got a call to come out here to this neighborhood just before 1 o'clock this morning, so just about 3 hours or so ago, and that's when they came. Something happened in a home here. Shots were fired with a suspect, and that's all we know at this point as we work to piece this together. Off camera, we did speak to a few officers. They told us that their sergeant was going to come and give us an update. Right now, no timetable for exactly when that is going to happen. We're still working to figure out, A, how did all of this start? Was the suspect injured? If so, how severely? We're also trying to figure out if any officers have been injured in this. I can tell you, though, this stretch of Maryland, exactly where at 89th Avenue, is going to be shut down for several hours. That's what we're hearing. I also spoke to a neighbor who told us all the commotion this morning woke him up out of his sleep. You're going to hear from him coming up at our next hour, but I'll tell you this, I'm here and we are working to get more information. As soon as we get those details, we'll pass them along to you in what has been a very busy night for Valley law enforcement. Megan.
Yeah, Nick, you know, we're going to check in with you in just a little bit on that scene as you work to gather more information. In the meantime, we want to take you to the East Valley right now as that other shooting investigation is going on. We want to take you to Mesa Drive and Southern Avenue. The public information officer is speaking now about that officer-involved shooting. Let's try and listen in now.
Incidents, we never know what we're walking into. They're inherently dangerous. So what I can say is I'm happy that there was no other people injured. Even as the initial call, that family fight, it doesn't appear there'd be anyone seriously injured as a result of that. But we're going to be continuing to investigate that.
Were there firearms used in that family fight?
That's going to be part of that investigation. I don't know if firearms were involved in the initial call. What we had at the time was that there was a family fight, a disturbance. It could have been verbal, it could have been physical. We're still investigating that.
All the shell casings and everything that we see, is that from the altercation with police?
At best I can. This is going to be a thorough investigation. Any items of evidence, we still have to go through that process to determine if they were involved in the officer-involved shooting or if this was simply something that could have been there before. But that's all going to be part of that investigation.
We saw there was a house full that you had out sitting out on curb. Were there any reports of any injuries from the fight previous to you guys arriving?
That's still going to be subject to that investigation. I can't, as of right now, I don't know if anyone was injured as part of that fight that we initially responded to. But when we contacted all the people in the residence, they appear to be okay.
Detective, how tough of a situation was this when especially involves families?
Like I mentioned, this is inherently dangerous when we respond to these calls. We never really know what we're walking into. So this just kind of goes to show, a little bit of, officers, when we respond to these calls, we have to deal with them by a case-by-case basis. This incident ended the way it did, but I can't say that, this is common. It's completely unknown when we're walking into these situations.
And I know it's early days, but do you happen to know what the fight was about?
That, as of right now, I don't have any information regarding that initial call for service. Obviously, we're still investigating. You can see behind me the detectives are on scene, but that's all going to be part of our investigation.
And how many officers shot off their weapon?
Two officers, correct.
Were they the only ones on scene at that time?
There were multiple officers arriving on scene. I can't say exactly how many were on scene. I can just simply say that there were two officers involved in this shooting. Okay. If there's any other questions, I'll be sending out a news release to cover all the details that I have at this time. Like I said, Tempe will be leading up the EV cert side for the officer-involved shooting, and then we're going to continue our investigation as part of that family fight.
Real quick, can you just say and spell your first and your last name as well as your position?
So I'm Detective Dreyer with Mesa Police Department. It's spelled JOHNDREYER. Thank you guys.
You have been listening live now to the detective there, Detective Dreyer there, the public information officer with the Mesa Police Department about that overnight shooting. So what we've learned listening in with you here at 4:35 in the morning is that an officer involved shooting happened there. This was near Mesa Drive and Southern Avenue. The initial call out was a family fight. That's what we're hearing. And we don't know the extent of that fight, but we're hearing that there are no serious injuries involved to that family. Also, no injuries to officers. He talked about how inherently dangerous as well that this is for their officers to arrive on a scene like that and then have to figure out what was going on and make sure everybody stays safe. We know that 2 officers were involved in that, but we don't know how many officers arrived on the scene, but specifically 2 officers were involved in that officer-involved shooting. We know the East Valley Critical Response Team is now going to be taking over that investigation. So our Adam Mincer was there from the beginning there, gathering some of those details, and hopefully he'll be able to share more with us coming up in a little bit here on ABC 15 Mornings. And of course, we are waiting as well for more information from the East Valley to the West Valley, Glendale, where Nick Saletti was live. Hopefully he'll get an update for us soon. We know he works hard out there on the scene with his sources, so we'll check in with him in just a little bit on those 2 big breaking stories here at 4:30.